right, y'all. So we are here at Capital Cycle. There's a couple of guys here looking at getting or possibly getting a bike. And I got some gold cards, so we'll see what happens, all right?
How you doing? My name's Sam. Right now I'm on a 2016 Victory Cross Country Tour. Also on a 2018 Harley Heritage. But yeah, I'm looking to trade in my Victory. Right now I found a Pursuit Dark Horse that I like. I love the ride. I mean, can't beat it. Hell of a lot better than any other bike I've rode. So hopefully we can do some business today, and I'll be riding out today on my new bike.
My name is Kevin, aka Cool Kev. I'm riding a 2015 Victory Cross Country. I've been shopping in the market. The Indian Challenger is what caught my eye as far as the handling, the throttle response, and all the electronics it has. It's elite. It's at the top of the notch. Rode the Road Glide. It doesn't compare. It's light years behind.
I appreciate y'all taking some time out to talk to me real quick, man. So, like you said, hopefully the business goes through and you're riding out of here. But absolutely. We'll see. Because after this, I'm going to give me something to eat, man. Peoples, what is going on? I am Finesse, and today we are in the Finesse Garage because we are going to be talking about the 5 things I wish I knew before purchasing my Indian motorcycle. All right, so number 1 on my list of things I wish I knew before purchasing my Indian motorcycle is the value of a tour pack. Now, when I first got my Indian motorcycle Challenger, I was transitioning from riding sport bikes into riding cruisers. And typically, if when you're on a sport bike, if you need to carry anything with you, it's going to be in the backpack. And when I started looking at cruisers, at least the Challenger, and I saw that it had 2 saddlebags, I was thinking to myself, that's going to be more than enough space than what I need to carry, anything that I'm taking with me on the bike. So lo and behold, I quickly found out that was incorrect. So when you're going from one style of riding to another, there's always going to be some things that you don't think of or don't realize at the time. And going to a cruiser, you're changing the style at which you ride, right? So instead of doing like little quick crazy stuff, you're doing more touring, long distance, those types of things. And as you grow in your motorcycle journey, you're going to find out that you're going to start taking a lot more stuff with you. And then in my case, I'm starting up a YouTube channel, then there's cameras and everything else. So those saddlebags quickly ran out of space. All right, so the number 2 thing that I wish I knew before purchasing my Indian motorcycle is that the weight of the motorcycle, for the most part, really doesn't matter a whole lot, right? And that also played into some of the idea of having a tour pack and those types of things, because you're adding weight to the motorcycle. And early on, I was thinking, I don't want to have that much weight and have to worry about stopping the bike or whatever. So I will say that, at least in my experience, the only times that I've really noticed the weight of the motorcycle is if I've had to pick it up. Or if it comes into a situation where, maybe I step my foot down and there's loose gravel, and, I lose my footing and then I have to catch myself, on the bike, before it gets to the point where, it's just going to fall over. So in those instances, yes, the weight of the bike did have some bearing on what was going on. But in normal day-to-day operation, riding the motorcycle, turning the motorcycle, getting it up off the kickstand, those types of things, the weight really doesn't matter a whole lot because, just the bike in itself, especially when you're riding the bike, it wants to stand up. It wants to stay straight up. So, when you get into leans and those types of things, either when you straighten your handlebars up, the bike will stand up. If you add power, the bike is going to stand up. So, as you're learning how to ride motorcycles, or if you already know how to ride it and you're getting used to the characteristics of this new motorcycle that you are riding, you're going to find, um, procedures and things that you do when riding a motorcycle that's pretty much universal across the board when it comes to motorcycles. So, in my opinion, the weight really doesn't matter a whole lot. All right, so the number 3 thing on my list of things I wish I knew before buying my Indian motorcycle is the amount of care needed for flat paint. Now, my Indian Challenger, that flat black, I thought looked absolutely gorgeous. And when I see other flat black Indian motorcycles, they still look good to me. They just look so good. But I'm here to tell you that paint is never going to look as good as it does as it's sitting on the showroom floor. All right. Now, if I'd have known what I needed to do with that flat paint, the first thing I would have done was get it ceramic coated. Um, that way, there's less maintenance or cleaning that you're going to have to do. I guess you could get it PPF. I think there's a PPF for flat paint as well if you don't want to go the ceramic coat route. But if you don't do these things, at least in my experience, what I found out is that when you're traveling and you're going through in the early day or late night, um, bugs, all the bugs and things that are going to hit your bike, all of that is going to be up there, and it's really tough to get out. So for sure, if I knew about the care of a matte finish, I would have definitely been something that I wish I knew beforehand. All right, so the number 4 thing I wish I knew before purchasing my Indian motorcycle was that handlebars make all the difference. It doesn't matter what brand you're using. It doesn't matter the look or the finish that you have on these bars. The ability to turn your motorcycle, the ability to ride comfortably on your motorcycle is all in those bars. And transitioning from a sport bike to a cruiser, there really weren't a lot of options as far as bars. I mean, you had maybe some colors, or possibly some styling in the way that they went out, but other than that, there's really not a lot of variation in handlebars and sports bikes. When you get over to cruisers, that's a whole different story. You've got high rise, mid rise, you got the low rise, you got drag bars. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And when I first started out, and you can see it in my very first video, I was saying that those bars, they were low, and that I would just push them up a little bit, and I think that would have been okay. But after experiencing a set of bars that really made my ride comfortable for me in that seated position that you have on cruisers, that made all the difference. I mean, I could ride the bike for hours. I wasn't worried about any shoulder pain, any neck pain. I wasn't hunched over the tank. I'm in a more relaxed, upright position. So bars really do make a difference. And I think if you're looking to make your ride a bit more comfortable, one of the first things you can do is probably start with those bars. Whether the bars are too low or maybe they're too far away, I would definitely think about addressing that first, and then working on to seats and things other than just the bars. All right, but had I known that from the jump, I think my development, I think the ability to learn how to ride my motorcycle would have definitely been a lot more beneficial. And to round out the end, my number five thing that I wish I knew before purchasing my motorcycle was the temperature differences when riding. Now, maybe I forgot, or maybe when riding sport bikes, I'm always in a jacket, and you got the tall boots and your full face helmet, those types of things. And it's a little bit different on a cruiser, at least for me anyways. I'm typically in lightweight clothing just because of the weather out here. I'm wearing a half helmet and riding boots. All right. And the temperature difference between the ambient temperature and riding a bike, I want to say it's something like 10 degrees. And on the first trip I took to Road Atlanta for the King of the Baggers race, I talk about this all the time. It was cold. Oh my goodness, it was cold. I had on a lightweight jacket. I was wearing a full face helmet, gloves, and like cold, 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 cold. Oh my goodness. So typically now when I take trips, or if you take a trip with me at some point, you are going to see that I am bundled up nicely. All right. Hey, you can always take stuff off, but it's more difficult after the fact to put stuff on. Okay. So, um, and when you're on a cruiser, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be taking long trips. So that means you're either going to be leaving early in the morning or sometime in the afternoon. And I'm here to tell you, anything other than midday, um, in some of these months, especially winter months, it is super cold. And there's no amount of heated grips or heated seat that's going to keep you warm enough on your motorcycle. So definitely, definitely layer up. And winter is approaching us as we speak. So, just something to be aware of. And especially now that, I'm sitting more upright and I'm not tucked into the bike, a lot more wind is hitting you. So had I guess realized that as more known that, because I guess I kind of knew that, but had I had that realization before I took that trip to Atlanta, I think things would have been a lot better. All right, so those are my 5 things, the things that I wish I knew before purchasing my Indian motorcycle. What are some of the things that you guys wish you knew beforehand on buying your motorcycle or your Indian motorcycle? All right. I'd love to hear what you guys think here down in the comments. And of course, ride every day. And most importantly, make sure you're enjoying it. Peace.